Everybody coming together and saying, "Oh, we're gonna watch a freak show. This is what this is. We know what this is. It is absolutely mental."
Because he views Jake Paul as a decent boxer. This is not the first time that someone has come out and said this. We've heard Terrence Bud Crawford come out and say that because of the size difference, Tank won't be able to hurt Jake Paul, and that Jake Paul could probably knock him out with one punch.
Floyd Mayweather reportedly stormed the stage during the Jake Paul vs. Gervonta Davis press conference, issuing a warning to Jake. The event quickly turned tense as both sides exchanged sharp words, highlighting just how serious things have become between the camps ahead of their much-talked-about showdown.
Showing up. Honestly, just I'm gonna knock him out. You know, he has a lot of flaws in his defense, and I'm gonna expose him. You know, look what a 135 Lamont Roach did to him, and it's just gonna be so much fun for me. I'm so glad that God gave me this moment. I'm Gervonta Tank Davis's.
Many critics have been quick to dismiss the Jake Paul vs. Gervonta Davis matchup as unnecessary, calling it more of a spectacle than a sport. However, not everyone shares that view. Ariel Helwani offered a contrasting perspective, noting that MMA fans often celebrate experimental matchups, finding them entertaining and exciting. Yet, when similar crossover events occur in boxing, those same audiences respond negatively and label them meaningless. Helwani argued that this reaction reveals a double standard between the two combat sports. While the fight may not align with traditional boxing values, he believes it still holds strong entertainment appeal.
Generally, I'm sure it'll be a little bit closer, maybe 200 to 150. How much bigger can Tank get? Why would that be somewhat celebrated in MMA, but in boxing it isn't? Do you know what I mean, Pizzi? In MMA, like, we sort of love the freak shows, but in boxing they don't. Why do you think that is? What does that say about us in MMA?
Well, we're a sick bunch of fucks. There's no doubt about that. But I will say,
you agree, right, or no?
Yeah. Like, the idea of the MMA freak show is everybody coming together and saying, "Oh, we're gonna watch a freak show. This is what this is. We know what this is. It is absolutely mental. What we're gonna watch here." I think where people get annoyed with Jake is, like, you know, he even got me. You know what I mean? This guy is the greatest outrage farmer of all time. I saw his tweet and I was like, reading it, you know what I mean? And I was like, well, this is exactly what he fucking wants me to do. You know, like, this is every time I'm doing this, he's in the game of getting eyeballs, and this is ridiculous. As long as, like, you know, why do I like an MMA freak show? Why would I watch Eddie Hall in an MMA fight against Dylan Dennis? I'll be like, this is fucking ridiculous, and I have to watch it. That's the way I feel about Jake Paul and Davis. I will watch it. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's all of us getting together to go to the circus for the evening. I think the reason why there's pushback against it when Jake does it is because Jake, and obviously tactfully, is going like, what are you talking about? This guy's a world champion. I took out Mike Tyson. He's a world champion. And then I'm going to take out Canelo and stuff like this. Like, he's winding us up. He's not agreeing to stipulation that we're all agreeing on, which is, this is a freak show. This is absolutely mental. As long as we can agree with that, we can all enjoy it collectively.
But do you not think he does agree to that? Do you not think he knows what this is?
Floyd Mayweather discussed the upcoming Jake Paul vs. Gervonta Davis fight, saying that while the Paul brothers are doing things people might not fully understand, they should be allowed to do what they want. However, he added that Jake's skills have yet to be truly tested, noting that Jake has never faced an opponent with real experience or elite boxing ability, someone who truly represents what real fighters stand for in the ring.
I said before, they know what they're doing. Both brothers. Logan as well as Jake, they know what they're doing, so they're doing what they got.
The upcoming matchup between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul has left both fans and boxing analysts divided. To many, the fight feels out of place, a contest that doesn't align with the spirit of professional boxing. Reactions have been especially strong among longtime Davis fans, who view this bout as a step backward for a fighter known for his explosive knockouts and dedication to the sport. The criticism isn't solely about Jake Paul's background as a YouTuber, but also about the belief that a boxer of Davis's caliber shouldn't even consider participating in such an exhibition.
Tank ain't gonna knock out Jake. Like, bro, I'm gonna tell you exactly how it's gonna go. Jake Paul will go in that ring thinking he has the upper hand, he has the reach, he has the weight, and he's gonna go in there confident. Yeah, he might stun Tank a little bit, but I'm gonna tell you, he gonna underestimate Tank. That's exactly what's about to happen. He's gonna underestimate him and his size. he gonna get crushed. I think this right here is what's gonna end Jake Paul's boxing career. I think that Jake Paul, when you sit here and think about it, the people he fought, I'm not saying they wasn't real fighters, but they just not no Tank Davis, buddy. I'm telling you, I don't think this is scripted. I think, yes, this is for money, but I think it's like, hey, at your own cost, go in that ring. Y'all know the weight difference. What's gonna happen is what's gonna happen at the end of the day. I think Tank really go, hey, drop him. He ain't gonna understand. Jake Paul ain't understand how, but he's about to see it. And on some real stuff, I think Tank setting Jake Paul up. So I remember when Jake Paul went up against Tyson, he said, you need to fight me. Like, I want to get in the ring with Jake Paul. He disrespected the boxing world by getting in the ring with Tyson and embarrassing him. And, Tank really messed with Tyson. I think he's setting him up, bro. Mark my words. I think he's like, yeah, come in the ring, bro. We're going to do a friendly, you know what I'm saying? A match or whatever. We're gonna get this money. He about to embarrass him November 14th. Just because Jake Paul think the boxing world's sweet. He think it's sweet. He think they about to keep taking it easy on him with these fights. All right, I bet you. How much I want to bet? Tank is setting him up. He's gonna really do him so bad. Just to make
This fight is surrounded by unusual moments that make it difficult for fans to take it seriously. One of the most talked about involves Shakur Stevenson, who recently became a topic of controversy after reports surfaced that he sparred with Jake Paul. Many fans turned on him, accusing him of supporting an event they already dislike. However, Shakur responded calmly, saying he isn't affected by the hate and instead uses it as motivation, a reaction that reflects his maturity as a professional. Still, the fact that even unrelated boxers are being pulled into the discussion highlights just how controversial this matchup has become. At this point, people seem more focused on the drama and social media chatter than on the sporting value of the event itself.
Turkey was doing all that, like, I don't want no boring Tom and Jerry fights. He came out with a Tom and Jerry hat. And then he fought in a style that is not sustainable for him. And it's not, again, for me, it's not sustainable because fighting like that, if you do that with the wrong one, you'll lose. If you fight how you fight, okay, it's going to be harder to win. But you're putting your own self on the chopping block trying to appease the crowd or not be Tom and Jerry. It's not sustainable. And even in the Zepeda fight, he got rocked back with a jab and fell into the ropes like that. So you could say I wasn't hurt and all that, but it's still a bad look. It's a bad look. People always talk about Tank, the knee, hair grease thing, but what about Shakur getting rocked into the ropes from a Zepeda jab? Even if you were off balance, you're supposed to be light years ahead of Zepeda skillfully. So to me, that still looks really bad. Like, I watched 50 fights from Floyd Mayweather, and he's fighting way better than Zepeda level. And Canelo and these guys, they're not punching him into the ropes and he's staggering back. The optics of it look bad. So back to it, Shakur, I feel like he's trying so hard to look unbothered, but he always replies to it so you could tell he's bothered. He's like, man, I got him so mad at me. And I personally, I don't prefer that when people do that. Like, for example, Shakur's like, man, I got him tuned in and thanks for the support. Bro, they're not really supporting you. They're all the comments underneath you saying whatever you said about I get to pick Jake Paul's brain and work with him and all that. Most of them were negative. So you're trying, like, it's so weird because it reminds me of when I've seen people like celebrities or whatever who they have a
Other boxers, including Devin Haney and Terence Crawford, have also shared their opinions. They believe that no matter how skilled Gervonta Davis is, facing someone like Jake Paul carries unnecessary risk due to the significant size difference. Jake is much heavier and taller, which could make the fight physically challenging despite the wide gap in technical skill. Both Haney and Crawford pointed out that matchups like this blur the line between real boxing and pure entertainment. Their comments echo the sentiments of many traditional boxing fans, who believe the sport should remain competitive and meaningful, not just a business move or a spectacle.
Jake Paul is a decent boxer. This is not the first time that someone has come out and said this. We've heard Terence Bud Crawford come out and say that because of the size difference, Tank won't be able to hurt Jake Paul, and that Jake Paul could probably knock him out with one punch. We've seen Shakur Stevenson's words say that this is a clown show, that it's a disgrace to boxing, that it's something that he doesn't want to be a part of, but then do everything he can to be a part of it by turning from 2-division, 3-division world champion, former unified champion, and turning himself from that into a damn sparring partner for Jake Paul. So people's words, people's actions are showing that they really, really deep down like this fight. And now you can add Devin the Dream Haney to the list of fighters. And I just find it funny because here's the thing. I disagree with him. I am only interested in this fight because, number one, I'm a diehard Gervonta Tank Davis fan. And number two, I don't really like Jake Paul at all. So I would like to see Tank Davis knock his block off. But as far as a competitive standpoint, as far as thinking it's a good fight, as far as loving the fight, nah, bro, I think it's a trash-ass fight. I think Tank Davis is way too good, way too skilled, way too talented to even allow Jake Paul to share the ring with him. That is my opinion. And so as a result, my pick of the fight or my overview and analysis of the fight is the same. If it's a real fight, if this is something that Tank Davis is taking serious, Jake Paul...
Former world champion Keith Thurman offered a more balanced perspective. He pointed out that the same fans who criticize Gervonta Davis are often the ones who never miss his fights. According to Thurman, people love to complain but still watch because Tank always delivers excitement. He explained that this kind of controversy keeps Davis in the spotlight and highlights his influence in boxing. Thurman believes that no matter how much criticism surrounds this fight, fans will still tune in to see what happens. To him, that proves how strong Davis's brand has become. Even his critics contribute to the success of his fights.